Another dead admin. Looks like they got out of the paddock.
What do you think could possibly be killing him?
There's only one people that has this type of disregard for human life and freedom. Commies. Joseph Stalin, I should have known. Haven't enough people died by starvation? You have to kill more? Remember kids, communism is never the answer.
Yeah, I don't think there's any need for baby powder, Mike. As long as Aaron continues to wear the flowing pants, I don't think you're gonna see any.
I think the
rubbing.
thighs are the problem.
The flies?
No, thighs.
Oh.
Like they're just, oh, hey guys, welcome to Garand. We have a very compelling rifle to talk about today, and that is going to be the Bren 2. You might be familiar with it, you might not be, but the Bren 2 has recently seen a whole lot of combat in the war in Ukraine. In addition to that, we spent a whole lot of time shooting this rifle, putting it through its paces, and we're very excited to do the review on this rifle. There's not a whole lot of technology or firearms that are released that we're that excited about because AR-15s are pretty good, but this is getting pretty close to making Micah excited, which makes me excited. Before we get into that, we of course have to thank the biggest sponsor of the channel, who is
Eating Snickers Institute.
the Sonoran Desert Institute. If you're looking to get your start in gunsmithing, they are the people to go to. We cannot thank them enough for sponsoring the channel.
Yeah, thank you.
And of course, who can we not forget? Micah!
Primary Arms! They just came back from their Arctic exploration.
Oh yeah, they were trying to set out to prove that the Chinese don't exist.
We liked their compact optics a lot. We liked their optics. They're at a good price. What is happening? A big thank you to Primary Arms. And unlike the TV that you're watching this on, unlike the camera that this is being filmed with, AAC ammunition is made in the US of A, and we cannot thank them enough for sponsoring the channel with ammunition. We are using all AAC ammo in today's video. We're each gonna be doing 2 rounds per target, going through, and it's gonna be whoever's fastest. Pretty simple. And we have Dora the Explorer right here.
Whoa, why call me Dora the Explorer?
You're Spanish?
You're throwing a lot of shade for a dude that's wearing a backpack for no reason.
Stand by. 233.
Got one, Charlie. Felt bad. Here you go.
Let's get it.
Shooter, are you ready?
Yep.
Stand by.
Dude, I couldn't even see that shit.
218. Charlie Alpha. Alpha Charlie. Alpha Alpha. Oh, that has a grenade in there. That's interesting.
So far, with penalties, technically I'm ahead. Let's see what Aaron can
You got 2 Charlies.
Yeah, all right. Well, más o menos.
276.
No, it's good shooting.
Alpha 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 Alpha. Stand by. 243. Looks like Alpha across the board. How do you feel?
I remember the M16 video. It's happening again.
We have my favorite LPVO, so I feel like I want to incorporate kind of some distance in there. So I want to shoot that guy. I want to shoot him twice. And then we're going to run over to this pole,
Oh, those targets aren't turned, are they? And then we'll just shoot 1-1.
Okay.
So 4 shots. You know, there's a lot of talk on scope magnification, right? And so I want to. Ow!
Oh, watch out for the prehistoric.
Ow!
Prehistoric cabbage got him.
These targets you have to shoot on 10x.
That has no basis in reality. Six, eight, eight. Shooter inside the course fire.
Yep.
Stand by. Impact. Impact.
God damn it.
7, 7, 8.
Stand by.
$690.
Hey, let's go.
Tanner.
With you.
Stand by.
Go, baby, go.
Oh no.
Oh God.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, that 10x failed you, huh?
1329. That 10x. Oh,
It's me.
Wildest Dreams.
Hi,
Wildest Dreams.
I don't know that song.
Dun, dun, dun. You said, let's get out of this town.
Right in this. I don't know. I'm sorry.
It's not often I'm excited about a rifle, but I have been unnecessarily excited about the Bren 2. Micah has unfortunately had to deal with me obsessing over this gun autistically for the last, I don't know what, 6 months?
You've been shooting a lot.
We've been shooting a lot. Before we get into it, we want to do what we always do, which is our full disclosure. So it should be noted that this rifle is actually provided to us by Shooting Surplus. They've done this before and they are awesome, so we can't thank those guys enough for providing it. Awesome of them. Beyond that, we have done some work with CZ USA before. We did the Bren 805 as well as the CZ 75 SP01. We don't work with CZ USA so much. The main parent company, CZ, big fans of us. We have talked to their engineers about this rifle specifically, but understand that there's no exchange of money or ammunition or anything from CZ when it comes to this review. We simply received the rifle from Shooting Surplus, and the ammunition is provided for by AAC. The Bren 2 is a short-stroke gas-operated weapon, feeds from Stenag magazines. It is chambered in 5.56. However, there are other variants that are chambered in 7.62x39 and a couple others, and barrel changes and conversions are very easy on the Bren 2. It is a very modular weapon, and that's kind of the name of the game. I think what's helped the AR-15 survive for such a long time and develop and evolve into the weapon that it is now is how easy it is to change things out and how robust that centralized system on the AR-15 is. I think that definitely applies to the Bren 2, where it has the potential to become a pretty well-developed weapon system. And as you can see here, we do have a fair bit of aftermarket on it. I really wanted to show what the Bren 2 could ultimately be capable of and the amount of support that it was already receiving from the third-party markets. So with all those things being said, let's go ahead and let's talk about the Bren 2 rifle. So we're gonna start tip to butt, as we always do. Right here at the tip, we do have an Otter Creek Polonium K, one of our favorite suppressors actually. Very quiet, very awesome. And what we have to point out is how well, for whatever reason, whatever Czech magic they've garnered from Czech Republic, this weapon is remarkably smooth with suppressors, and the Polonium K has a little bit more back pressure, but the Bren 2 handles it wonderfully. So if you have a can with less back pressure, it's going to be just simple. So you guys can see how nice and pleasant it is. The gas system on the Bren 2 is very easy to get to. You have 3 main positions. You have a normal setting, you have your adverse setting, and then you have an off-close position on some military rifles for rifle grenades. In the US, mostly seeing the normal and adverse setting. Honestly, I was worried about there not being a specific suppressor setting, and depending on the gas plug that you use, you can get aftermarket ones. You can get ones that are specifically designed for suppressors. We didn't find that to be necessary on this particular rifle, so it's been wonderful. We haven't had to put it to the adverse setting because the rifle is just remarkably smooth, and that's something that a lot of people comment on. So this gun has, at this point, I don't know, 3,000-4,000 rounds on it, somewhere right around there. You can see how smoothly the bolt operates even after all those rounds. It hasn't been cleaned once yet. The system is clean. operates well, and they definitely put their homework into it before they release the rifle. Now, it should be noted that, of course, the Bren 2 isn't the first iteration. We did have the Bren 805, and I was pretty critical of that particular rifle, and this is a definite upgrade to that system. So on this particular Bren 2, there are a couple different models. We do have the 16-inch variant. In the war in Ukraine, you're mostly seeing the 14-inch variant or shorter. There isn't a whole lot of difference with those besides barrel profile and gas system length. We have confirmed that with the engineers over at CZ. When it comes to the barrels are extremely well made. They are cold hammer forged. This is typically what we want to see in a military type rifle. They are chrome lined. They are, of course, being cold hammer forged, they're extremely reliable, they're extremely durable, and they can go a large amount of rounds before they need to be replaced, which is going to be nice for your typical guy who is in a military setting and needs to fire his rifle a lot and not worry about having to bring it in for any type of maintenance or any of that type of work on it. I've seen some people note that the Bren 2 isn't a particularly accurate weapon. I haven't found that to be the case. We've been shooting a lot of 77 grain AAC. Typically we're printing around 1 MOA or so, a little bit less if I'm having a really good day, or if the rifle's having a good day, I suppose. Plenty accurate. An AR-15, of course, can be a more accurate system, but not by a whole lot. We've shot this out to about 700 with no problems. I don't believe that accuracy is an issue that the Bren 2 suffers from. So on a handguard right here, we do have an aftermarket handguard. This is from HBI USA. This is part of the upgrade process I'm talking about on the CZ Bren 2. The factory handguard, as it comes from CZ, is shorter, just about to the gas system. When you're shooting off barricades, I like to be able to have the option of getting the rifle a little bit further back. And I don't want to, of course, rest the barrel on the barricade, so this allows you to both have something protecting the barrel, as well as you can mount your lights further out, you can mount your lasers further out to ensure that they're kind of out of the way and you can put the controls where you want them, just a little bit more real estate, especially on a long gun like this. It's been extremely helpful. So big fans of the handguard from HBI. That has been a nice upgrade. We have M-LOK going all the way around. It is a little bit, of course, fatter than your typical AR-15 handguard due to the short stroke gas piston system, but has been very comfortable to shoot. Right here we do have the charging handle. This is easily switchable from the left to the right side. I do like side chargers quite a bit more than the typical AR-15 design. It is, however, a little bit high. So this is an aftermarket folding charging handle. The typical charging handle as it comes from CZ is a little close, and it runs into the problem that the 805 ran into, which is it's a little bit high. So when you have an optic mounted, you're a lot of times kind of busting your knuckle if you have to manipulate the weapon, which I'm not a fan of. So this folding charging handle is from Neoteric Designs. We have to thank them for sending that over. They do make a couple other products for the Bren 2. We just chose to use this one in particular. It's just what felt best. In addition, of course, to operating the bolt, it can also work as a forward assist. That is for any charging handle that comes from CZ or from Neoteric Designs. And I like that quite a bit. So you can see how that works. It folds in, folds out, and it clears any type of mount on your optic. That way you can manipulate the weapon and then folds back into place and out of the way. So right here in our controls, they are ambidextrous on the Bren 2. We have typical AR controls. You have, of course, your paddle release. So when you're inserting your magazine, you can run it just like an AR. You can, of course, lock it back just like an AR. You also have, much like a G36, you have a bolt release right inside the trigger well right there. So if you're a European user, that might be very familiar to you. And of course, we have our magazine release on the right-hand side, as well as a magazine release on the left-hand side right there. Very friendly for any of my right-handed and wrong-handed users. I'm left-handed, but I shoot right. But if I did shoot left, that would be very nice. Moving back from those controls, we do have the safety right here. My complaint with the safety is I don't feel like it's quite long enough. So when I'm up on the gun, I like my safety to reach just a little bit further back to get to it. I find that I kind of have to break my grip on it a little bit. Now, that is easily changeable, but as it comes from the factory, it wasn't my favorite. I haven't changed it yet because I just wanted to run it as it came from the factory, which is ironic considering how much stuff I changed, but that's my main complaint there. Of course, we do have a ambidextrous safety. You do want that when you're shooting further. It's easy to actuate that with your thumb when you're going the same side. That is good. Now, one of my favorite parts about the Bren 2 is going to be the trigger. Usually on these European military rifles, the triggers are not good at all. Micah, I mean yeah, no. They're pretty bad. But I'm really surprised at how good the trigger on the Bren 2 is. And this is one of the reasons I think it will probably end up being a very successful military rifle. So feeling into it, you have your first stop right there. Then you have a little bit of a roll and a clean let off maybe 4 pounds. And off the reset, which is short, maybe 2.5. It is a clean trigger. From the factory, very surprised at how good it was. I did receive a lower receiver from HBI that allowed you to use a Geissele trigger, like an AR-15 style trigger in there. But the factory trigger from CZ was so good, we just decided to run it for the review, and it's fast. Like, we're typically getting between 0.13, 0.12 splits on close shots, and then on far shots, it's super easy to make those shots just due to how clean that trigger break is. So I can't say enough good things about a good trigger on a rifle. It really will, in my opinion, make or break, you know, a weapon being good, and they did an extremely good job with the trigger on the Bren 2. Now the grip, I like it quite a bit. Good size, good angle. I have no complaints there. You can of course change out the back straps, but otherwise changing the overall grip angle is going to require a different lower, which is not a serialized part when it comes to the Bren 2, so that can easily be swapped out. Now, due to the fact that this is a very AR-18-like operating mechanism, we can of course fold the stock to make this a little short boy right there. So the stock is one of my favorite parts about the Bren 2. It is very comfy. It also, it looks good. Now on the Bren 2 itself, we do have QD mounts right at the rear of the receiver, as well as hooks. We don't really use those that much. We prefer to have our slings mounted at the back of the stock. My complaint with the QD on the stock right here is it is free spinning. There's no stop. I don't like that. I want to have a stop on my QD like we have on this QD right up here at the front. That way it doesn't get all tangled up and everything. But talking about shooting, which is the most important part of the Bren 2, the weapon is remarkably smooth. The recoil is soft, almost as soft as an AR-15. It is an accurate weapon. It is an extremely reliable weapon. It shoots clean when it's suppressed, and I think it's probably a good step in the evolution of combat rifles. What makes it really good too is there is extensive use of polymer. This makes this a less expensive gun to manufacture. Now I understand that right now, as it's being imported to the US, it is a little bit pricier. I believe that the price will come down as these are more widely accepted, and especially due to the fact that it has proven to be such a good rifle in the war in Ukraine, fighting up against the Russians. From the Ukraine fighters that we've talked to, both foreign and domestic guys, they've had nothing but praise for the Bren 2 in regards to its prowess, to its ability to push through mud and grime and dirt and accuracy, and how well it's performed in combat. We have to point out, the elephant in the room is that the AR-15 is probably the best fighting rifle out there. It's modular, it's extremely accurate, but they have their problems. The controls on the charging handle can be a little bit awkward, and they definitely gum up faster suppressed. If you're looking to be a little bit different, if you're going to be running suppressed with the inability to clean, the Bren 2 is a very compelling rifle to go to. This is probably the first time in a long time that I would say that the Bren 2 is just about equal to the AR-15. And I believe that as the aftermarket continues to catch up, we begin to get different barrel options, more handguard options, that we're going to have a very good fighting rifle as it begins to get kind of fleshed out. You have to realize the AR-15's got over 40 years of development on it, and I think the Bren 2 is definitely going to get there. So incredible rifle, a definite buy. I know it's going to cost a little bit more right now, but a very good rifle design in my opinion. I can't give it enough praise for what they've done with it. So good on CZ. We love CZ, right? But the point is, guys, as cool as this rifle is, if you're not getting training, you're still not going to be good with it. So make sure that you get out there, you get training, you hang out with the boys, you do drills. We show all these drill videos because it is fun, and you like to see how the rifle performs in different hands. But beyond that, you should be heading out with the boys. You should be competitive. You should be competing. That's going to make you better. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video on the Bren 2, and way more good things coming as always, right, Micah? But I think that's we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna end. Yeah, we got nothing else for you guys. You know what, guys? Your parents aren't always gonna know what's best for you. There's gonna be times where you're gonna find opportunities that they're not gonna understand because they're too old or out of touch. So it's important to listen to your parents and to understand the concern that they have for you and their wisdom. But if a good opportunity comes along and you're able to research it and you believe that it fits in with your life, it might be a little scary at the time, but it might just be worth it.